A secret that had remained hidden for years behind the strict walls of the royal palace is now revealed. Her shocking silence has finally been broken, and before us stands not just a woman, but a forgotten part of royal history, overshadowed by the duties of a monarch and the societal obligations of the royal family. The story of Dale Cangatryon, her connection to King Charles, which had been the subject of whispers and rumors in the inner circles, is finally coming to light. This is a story not just of love and disappointments, but of how a woman's fate can be concealed in the shadow of a vast monarchical structure, leaving behind only fragments of memories and shattered dreams. The secret unveiled, the forgotten mistress of Charles. The revelation that has shocked the public is the confession of a woman who once played a significant role in Charles's life, now breaking years of silence. The story, one that had long been preferred to remain unsaid, is shedding light on hidden aspects of royal life. Lady Dale Cangatryon, who had always stayed in the shadows of greatness, is finally ready to tell her side of the story. To many, her name might seem unfamiliar, but those who were close to the royal elite remember her vibrant spirit, intellect, and the remarkable closeness she once shared with Charles during the years when his life had not yet been consumed by public duties and royal obligations. Her decision to speak out is not a simple one. For many years, she watched from the sidelines, remaining in the background. Rumors about her relationship with Prince Charles had circulated for some time, but only a few could comprehend how deep their bond had truly been. Now, stepping into the light, she intends to reveal the untold pages of history that, in her view, played a crucial role in shaping Charles into the man he is today. Her revelations not only shine a light on her own life but also on the complexity of Charles's inner struggles, which were always at odds with his public persona and the immense pressure of royal expectations. The public reaction has been mixed, ranging from curiosity to sympathy. Cangatryon's disclosures highlight just how important she was in Charles's life during those times when he was still searching for real human connections, a quality his life was often devoid of. People are stunned to learn just how influential Cangatryon was in shaping his choices and perspectives. The relationship that had been preferred to remain private is now brought to the forefront. Their relationship, while never fully brought to the public eye, was far more than a mere passing affair. Lady Dale Cangatryon's relationship with Prince Charles began in the early 1970s, when both were still young and searching for their place in the world. At the time, Charles was struggling with his royal duties, unable to find true companionship and understanding among the circles he was expected to move in. His heart was heavy with the responsibilities of the throne that loomed over him, a burden that most people could not begin to comprehend. It was in this moment of vulnerability that he crossed paths with Cangatryon, a woman who was far from the royal expectations and the social circles he frequented. Cangatryon was an individual of extraordinary intellect and compassion, known for her charitable work and her keen interest in philosophy and nature. Her deep understanding of the world was a breath of fresh air for Charles, who had spent years constrained by his royal duties, constantly in the spotlight and rarely able to experience life without the lenses of the public and the media trained on him. For Cangatryon, Charles was a man who needed the care and support she could offer, and she gave him more than just friendship. Over the years, their bond grew, moving from one of mutual respect to a deeper emotional connection. However, despite their connection, their love story could never have been fully realized in the way they might have hoped. The pressure of royal life weighed heavily on both of them. Charles was destined for the throne, a role that demanded public attention, political alliances, and unwavering loyalty to the monarchy. Cangatryon, on the other hand, had her own ambitions, dreams, and desires, and the notion of becoming a part of the royal family was one she could never fully accept, despite her feelings for Charles. As their connection deepened, so too did the distance between them. They both knew that their relationship could never be fully realized in the way they might have wanted. The monarch's obligations loomed large, and Cangatryon, ever aware of the boundaries that separated them, began to step back. Their emotional closeness remained, but their paths diverged, each person ultimately finding fulfillment in different ways. Cangatryon shares how her support helped Charles during the difficult moments of his life, when public pressure and personal anxieties weighed heavily on him. In her presence, he could be himself, discuss everything that troubled his heart, without the fear of being judged. She became the person he could trust in a world where every step was analyzed and dissected. Through her, he learned to open up, to see the world from different perspectives, and to search for answers to the questions that haunted him. Over time, their connection took on a unique form. Though Charles always remained the prince and adhered to the strict protocols of his position, his attachment to Cangatrian was genuine. This was not just friendship, it was a deep emotional bond. For her, loving Charles meant accepting not only his status but also the burden of his role. She was his pillar in times when royal duties overwhelmed him. Yet, despite their profound connection, the constraints of monarchical duties prevented Charles from fully devoting himself to this woman. Their relationship, although deeply close, always remained in the shadows. Cangatrian was the one who offered comfort when royal obligations weighed him down. But his duty to his family and the crown did not allow him to make her a part of his public life. The revelations about Cangatrian naturally draw attention to another important aspect of her life, her interactions with Camilla. Charles and Camilla, as we know, share many years of history, yet at a certain point in their lives, Cangatrian's presence began to raise concerns for Camilla. The ease of communication between Cangatrian and Charles sometimes seemed to be more than just friendship. This created a subtle competition between the two women, not overtly, but keenly felt in the smallest of gestures. Camilla, of course, had been with Charles for many years, but at one point, her view of Cangatrian as a rival for his affection became more evident. However, Cangatrian never sought to openly battle for his attention. She remained loyal to her own inner space, which included deep philosophical conversations and her passion for preserving nature, as well as her sincere concerns about the world. Yet, despite her resilience, her presence in Charles's life could not help but create tension, which few could have noticed. It was a subtle battle, not immediately apparent, but one that left its mark on all involved. Meanwhile, Cangatrian's personal life began to fade, and her health began to deteriorate noticeably. In the 1990s, she was diagnosed with a severe spinal condition that caused constant pain. This led to a dependence on strong medications, and over time, she began drinking, attempting to cope with the pain. The woman once known for her vitality and charisma became a shadow of her former self. Cangatrian experienced loneliness as her illness took its toll on her. As her health worsened, Cangatrian's world became smaller. Friends who had once sought her company now stayed away, and even Charles, who had once turned to her for solace, was unable to provide the support she needed. Despite the enduring emotional bond between them, the physical distance between them grew. Cangatrian's declining health and isolation painted a tragic picture of a woman who had once been so central in the life of a prince, now reduced to a distant memory. But even in the twilight of her life, Cangatrian never sought to expose the true nature of her connection with Charles. Her silence spoke volumes, a silence that will now finally be broken, revealing the lost love story of the century.